And now to discuss the provisions of the Citizenship Amendment Act, we are now joined by Pinki Anand, Senior Advocate of Supreme Court of India. She also has served as Additional Solicitor General of India. Welcome, ma'am, to DD India News Hour. For the benefit of our international audience, why was it felt necessary to bring in the CAA and who does it help?
Very clearly, I mean, the whole intention is to help and protect minorities who are being persecuted in jurisdictions which are the neighboring countries. And these are established facts. So it's not any other purpose but this. And we deserve it for our own citizens to ensure that they're able to come back to the country, to see that the procedure that is adopted for them is simplified as much as possible, because they are ultimately in a stage of persecution and may not have availability of documents and other validations which are required. So it's a very simple process of protecting your citizens and your citizens who are under persecution.
Could you shed some more light, ma'am, about where in India the CAA will not apply and why?
The only possibility of it not applying would be in the Assam Accord. And the reason it is because the Assam Accord itself has dates fixed to that, for which it might be a difficulty, and it has its own significance. But failing that, rest of it should apply across board. Of course, some states had shown some reservations, but indeed the act is going to prevail over the whole country as a central act. So hopefully there would be no resistance to that in any manner whatsoever, save and except, of course, challenge to constitutionality, if any.
Is there any section of people against whom the CAA might possibly be discriminatory in any way at all, or is it a completely fair or helpful legislation for religiously persecuted minorities?
Whenever you have affirmative action, and this is by way of an affirmative action by the minorities who are under persecution in those countries. So there is no question of any discrimination. If you're discriminating against somebody, that's one point. But if you're doing affirmative action in favor of a particular category of people with which there is a nexus of the country, that is the Republic of India, and we are looking at Indians, and we are looking at people from certain communities who are persecuted in those countries, there is no question of discrimination.
So can we now expect a flood of applications from such religiously persecuted minorities for Indian citizenship?
We should, and we hope to. We hope to have them back in the surface and on the as they say, the earth of India and the Republic of India.
Pinki ji, can you tell us something more about the procedure for applying the citizenship? Is it simple enough for the applicants to easily follow?
In fact, it's been simplified. So earlier there was a requirement, for example, of a valid visa or a valid travel document, and today the procedure has been so simplified that even if you don't have a valid document, it's invalidated because of lapse of time or otherwise, it would still be in proof of the fact that you are coming from these countries and you are the minority that is said to be persecuted. You are actually having the simplification on this basis for the sake of facility to the Indian citizens who are coming back to the country.
Finally, ma'am, would you agree that not only is the CAA constitutionally sound, but also that any criticism of it is completely unfounded and unjustified?
Absolutely, absolutely unfounded. See, we have come to a stage of time that we start we as in some people in some cross-sections start raising questions at valid legislations, at affirmative actions. As I said, if this action had been done as an affirmative action, which it has, then where is a question of criticizing it? You are giving a facility to a cross-section of people who belong to this country and who are facing difficulties on account of being in countries which are espousing other religions and are majorities in that. This is what we are seeking to do. Where's a question of any criticism on this count? But, I mean, people will continue to always raise questions, I suppose.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pinki Anand ji, for joining us in DD India News Hour and for the analysis of the provisions of CAA.